Good morning. Welcome to True Vine Talks with Rachel and Linda.
Yay, we're glad to be back. And today we're going to do episode 3 of 3, the final episode in our mini series on the fawn response and CPTSD, right? How to heal, how to cope with all the symptoms and your history.
hmm Yeah, managing and coping with flashbacks, with bodily responses to negative stimuli or perceived stimuli. You know, this is a process, folks. If you are recovering from ongoing trauma from childhood. Um, you have a lot of symptoms of people pleasing, disassociating, losing
Mhm.
time. I mean, what are some other symptoms just as a refresher?
Mm, I think the ones you listed are the big ones for sure. Yeah, mood swings.
Mood swings, for sure. Yeah. And, you know, this is a process. I can't say that enough. When you are healing from childhood trauma or an ongoing trauma in a domestic type of abuse situation from, adulthood, this takes time. So when you're in therapy and you're processing these things and you're utilizing EFIT, your bodily felt response is going to be draining. Okay. The energy is going to zap you. You're going to have pain in the body. There's going to be symptoms show up. You're like, what's happening to me? Well, this is where we want to transition into the body part that Rachel and I don't do body work per se. Like we don't do yoga or those types of things, but we do participate in yoga. We're saying we need you to
Not in
outsource.
therapy, right? It's a
Thank
collaborative
you.
effort, right? Where we appreciate yoga instructors and massage therapists and folks that do acupressure or acupuncture, like all of these things outside of therapy, in addition to it, can really help people heal that trauma that is stored in their body. It's a
Yes.
release for that energy, so to speak.
Yeah. You know that one training I told you about, Rachel, when I was in college, energy medicine?
Mm.
Yeah. So energy medicine, Dr. Linda Jaranella, she was one of my favorite professors at Marshall, taught us this tapping exercise on meridians in the body and how things can get trapped. And I have utilized that with several folks who are having panic, anxiety, with flashbacks, and it tends
Mm.
to release some of those negative patterns in the body. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
Is that the other EFT? We do a
That's the other EFT.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yes.
Yeah. Our EFT that we talk about here on the podcast, emotionally focused therapy. There's another EFT in the therapy world. Is it emotional freedom techniques?
Bingo.
And it's
You're right.
otherwise known as tapping,
Yes.
right? And it's bilateral stimulation, which means, you're moving the right side of your body, then the left side, the right side, then the left side. And it helps connect the two sides of the brain, the right and left side. The one focuses more on emotion, the other side focuses more on logic and reasoning. And when the two can come together, we create what's called integration, right? And that's what we
Mm,
need to make sense of, you know, what's happening emotionally and what's happening in reality. Yeah.
yes. Well said. What's happening emotionally and what's happening in reality. Well
Hmm.
stated. And so I love how you said that. It's a bilateral, is that the right word?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Bilateral.
type
Yep.
of technique. And so can I show an example? Would that be
Please do,
helpful?
and talk through what you're doing for the folks that are just listening and not watching the video as well. Yeah.
Yes. So it just came to my mind as Rachel and I were getting ready to do the podcast. I was like, EFT, emotion freedom technique works too.
Yeah. We'll just call it tapping.
We'll call it tapping. Yes. And a lot of my folks enjoy it. So if I have a fear, we'll take for instance, I don't love to fly, and when I do fly, I do have some anxiety. I've done a little thing on that before on TikTok, but I'm going to say, even though I fear flying, I still love, accept, and deeply forgive myself. So some of my folks are, they love the Lord and we want to honor that. And so I'll say, even though I fear flying, God still loves, accepts, and deeply forgives me. Now, what I'm doing is I'm tapping on my chest, and that is
Hmm.
where the lymphatic fluid gets stuck,
Mm.
right? So Dr. Jaranella taught us that to tap here is to move the energy, to move those meridians along the body. To
Yeah. It's kind of like along your collarbone,
yes,
right?
thank you.
Above the chest. Yeah.
And then I'm going to go to where for me as a woman, bra strap is underneath my arms. I look like a
Hmm.
monkey, per se, a gorilla.
Yeah.
And I'm tapping underneath the armpits there and
Yeah.
say,
Couple 2 or 3
even
inches under the armpit. Yeah.
though I fear flying, God still loves, accepts, and deeply forgives me. Even though I fear flying, I still love, accept, and deeply forgive myself. So I'm going to tap under there, and you can do it like 3 or 4 times. And then there's all these points along what they call the acupoints, I think in Chinese medicine. Please correct me, audience. This isn't my specialty if I
I
get it
think
wrong.
I think there are pressure points, which they probably
Pressure
do call
points.
acupoints. Yeah.
Thank you, Rachel. So I won't show you the thigh point where that's at right now because we're on the podcast, but you do the chin and you
Hmm.
tap on that and you say, even though I fear flying, I still love, accept, and deeply forgive myself. And then the mustache,
The
the
Cupid's
third eye,
bow right there. Yeah.
Cupid's bow.
Hmm.
Good. And then the third eye, and I know you look
Yeah.
ridiculous. Who cares? I don't care.
Right. If it prevents you from having a panic attack, I mean,
Come on.
right?
Now, what are they going to
Let's
do?
just do that.
Better than taking too many
Yeah.
drugs.
For those that don't know, the third eye is between the eyebrows. Yeah.
Thank you. And then
Mhm.
finally, the crown tap.
Yeah. And
And
so
then
you're
you
going
go,
kind of starting at your forehead and you're going around to the side of your head, to the back of your head, the other side, and back to the forehead in a circular motion, kind of like where your hat would rest on your head, or right, the crown.
and you're saying the language, even though I fear blank,
Mm.
God still loves, accepts, and deeply forgives me. Or
Yeah. Or
I
I.
still
Yeah.
love, accept, and deeply forgive me. So Dr. Giardinello said, you have to say the language when you tap on the pressure points because you're telling your brain to forgive you for having that actual fear or bodily sensation.
Yeah.
Isn't
Which
that
makes sense
interesting?
because people feel so much shame.
Around fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Around
So,
fear, hurt, yeah.
mhm.
So this would be good for it. Even though I'm afraid of conflict, I still
Yes,
love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I'm afraid to say no, I still love, accept, and forgive myself.
yes. That's good on the fawning, which
Hmm.
is the part of our series is people
Yeah.
pleasing. You
Yeah.
just your body wants to respond in a way that keeps it safe.
Yes.
When you had no
Yeah.
control of your environment.
Right. So this is a really good coping skill for people in that moment, right? When you're working on saying no, setting boundaries, right?
Yes.
No longer being holding yourself responsible for other people's feelings, right? Even
Mm,
though I feel responsible for their anger, I still love, accept, and forgive myself, right? These are
yes.
all examples of what that would look like.
Yeah. And you're not responsible for other people's emotions.
No, no.
Yeah.
And that's part of the healing process is like learning that. So as a child, you learned that you were,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because there was
Exactly.
no other way to make sense of, whatever chaos you may have been living in, right? And so your little child brain said, well, it must be me then, or this wouldn't happen, you know? Or
Mm-hmm.
maybe you had a caregiver or someone saying, you're making me so mad. That upsets me. Why did you, like these very blaming
Yeah.
statements, right? Which
Yeah.
make us believe like it's all my fault. It's always my fault.
Yeah. I have a good example of fawning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Examples are always helpful. Yeah.
Thank you. And it's, a self experience is, you know, when I was younger and still in college, Charlie came over for dinner and we were in our, I was back with my parents at the time, still living there. And we went to make something in the oven. We thought we would cook something and it was in a glass. It was in a glass pot and, young and dumb. And so we put it in the oven and it was warming up, getting hot and stuff. And so I had a CPTSD response in this scenario. The glass shattered in the oven,
Oh, wow.
exploded. I went into full blown panic attack. I was shaking. I was scared. I was frightened. And, because, my parent came in the room and generally that would entail an explosion, a reaction towards a mistake. Right. And
Hmm.
so they didn't respond that way because Charlie was there. There was a positive stimuli or a neutral stimuli in the room. So the response was, oh, that's okay. So the inner child in me was shocked
Yeah.
and confused and really stunned. But my body was in fight, flight, freeze. And I was reminded of that a few months or few weeks ago. And I was like, wow, that
Mm,
was a PTSD response to explosive behavior. And, you know, that went untreated. It just went untreated. And so that's
yeah.
how come I share these personal experiences because I want people to know trauma untreated affects the people you're around.
Yeah.
Your children, your partner, your friends. Untreated complex trauma impacts those around you in a negative way. You may not even realize it. So
Yeah.
people
Because
need
you're
to get help.
responding emotionally,
Yes.
right, to of what your body remembers.
Yes.
You're not responding rationally to what's actually happening right here, right now.
Nope. My body
Yeah.
was not saying it was safe.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, full blown panic attack. And that's how you know you have complex trauma. You respond differently to mistakes, spilled
Yeah.
milk, accidentally the wind blew the door shut too harsh. I mean, things that you don't really have control over, and you respond in an overly reactive way. And people might be like, gosh, that seems overly dramatic, but you haven't had the lived experience of chaos, a chaotic
Right.
attachment. Is that
Yeah.
helpful? Miss
Very
Rachel?
helpful. Very helpful. Yeah. If people understood what was happening on the inside, it wouldn't seem like a dramatic reaction at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you
Mhm.
haven't walked in someone's shoes and you can't know every experience, how would you even know?
Mm.
Yeah. That's why empathy is so important for folks.
Yeah. We don't know what people have been through. Yeah.
No.
We
Mm-mm.
don't. Yeah. This is a great example of, something that might cause you to be like over apologetic in a situation like that, or be afraid that, this mistake has just disappointed everyone, right? And that you're going to be responsible for whoever gets upset. And yeah. So here enter the need for boundaries,
The
right?
need for
And
saying no.
yes, the need to say no, I can't do that today. Can I have some time to think about it? Right? If it's
Hmm.
too hard to say no right away, we just say something that at least creates some space
Right.
to give you time to think about whether you really want to say yes or not.
Hmm.
Because the people pleasing makes it an automatic yes every time, all the time.
Yeah. That's true. People pleasing always says yes. Boundaried safe says no.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not mean. That's not rude to say no to people.
Nope.
It's not rude to say no to your parents. It's not rude to say no to your partner. It's not rude to say no to your best friend or your coworker. Like it doesn't matter the relationship, you're allowed to say no.
This the complex trauma book that I was reading, I think I sent it to you, is he said sometimes you have to divorce your parents.
Oh.
And I was like, he said sometimes you have to divorce your parents to get boundaries, to understand what happened to you so that you can say no to people in positions of authority, that
Mm,
kind of
hmm
thing.
hmm
Learning not to be the yes person, what feels really right in your body, because you will respond with a yes every time if you fear consequences.
Right? Yeah. No, people say that all the time. They don't want to get in trouble.
Hmm. Or
Yeah.
abandoned.
Or abandoned or rejected in any way. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So when you think about it, it's a way to avoid feeling shame, right? Your nervous system's trying to protect you from experiencing shame. It
Ooh, that's
feels like in order to not feel shame, I have to say yes, I have to people please, right? That's the only way I can maintain connection. And
hmm
that's not true.
right. Yeah. To maintain connection with others, I must say yes at all times. And that won't work. Like you're going to exhaust yourself and die young. So,
You're going to
wait.
feel resentment towards people because you know that
Hmm.
they're taking advantage of you, right? Or you're burnout, like Linda was just saying, exhausted.
Yes. Exhausted, burnout. And so if you're a fawner and you want to learn how to start saying no, distance yourself from people, that maybe you grew up with or had made you feel unsafe in some kind of way, or like you couldn't say no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Give yourself permission to have needs,
Yes.
right?
Lots of
Because
needs.
nobody ever gave you permission to have your own needs. It was all about everybody else all the time.
Hmm.
You do have needs, every human does, right? And that includes a need for rest, right? And so it is okay to say, I'm sorry, I can't make it to the family get together that's 2 hours away this weekend. I've been sick all week and I'm exhausted. Like It's okay.
Mm-hmm. It's okay if, there's a place everyone else is going and they invite you, but for you, that doesn't match your energy that weekend. That sounds kind of picky, but sometimes being overstimulated will,
Is awful. That's what I would say.
yeah, it's awful.
It's just not good.
Not good. If I'm not a big city gal, so I want to go to the big city and see it, because my niece is there, and I'm also
Oh
like
yeah.
I love her dearly, but I'm overstimulated by the lights it's weird because I can go to a concert and I'm not feeling overstimulated. I think it's because I'm moving.
Mm,
I think it's because if my body moves, I'm good. But if I'm not moving, I think there's something to that. The neuro wiring, like if you're moving, you're okay. If you're not moving and there's
hmm.
all this stimuli, your body goes, there's a bear in the room, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Well, at a concert also, it's like it's the same environment. Might be a lot of stimuli happening, but it's like these are the
Yeah.
same people beside of me. The stage is in the same location, right? Like you're in the city, you're walking
Oh,
around. The environment's changing. There's like, you know, I understand the difference there.
that makes sense. You're right, Rachel. Things are stationary, so you don't
You can
feel
maybe
stuck.
adjust or adapt a little easier. Yeah.
Your eyes can get focused in on the
Yeah.
stage and the music and the rhythm and the flow. It's probably energy,
Hmm.
positive energy.
Yeah.
And that brings us to like some other strategies for healing complex trauma is yoga, dance, massage. Um, what are some other
Yeah,
things?
all those things that we got
Yeah.
distracted from that we were talking about earlier. We're all over the place, but it's okay.
Hey, this is our
Well,
flow.
we
Rachel and I's
we got
jam.
on the bilateral stimulation tapping, which is super helpful,
Yes.
but that's a really reconnecting with yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your own needs. But it's also important to reconnect with your own body because when we dissociate and detach from ourself and our needs, right? Like we lose that connection with our body. So reconnecting with your body through dance, through yoga, these things
Yes.
that Linda's talking about can reconnects us with the signals that our
Mm.
body is exhibiting to tell us when we need to say no, right? Like
Ooh,
when you
that's
get that
good.
sinking feeling in your stomach, when you get that tightness in your
Yeah.
chest, that's your body communicating to you that it's time to set a boundary, create some space, right? Say
Mm.
no. It's what is it called? It's like prepping you to respond in a certain way. But when you're raised in a chaotic environment, you develop people pleasing because you feel responsible for other people's emotions, you feel responsible for keeping the peace. You learn to ignore those signals, right? That your body's trying to tell you something's off. This isn't healthy.
Mm. Yeah, your body is signaling that something is off. Yeah, and you don't know it unless you what how did you say that a while ago, Rachel? Your body's when you start doing yoga or dance or getting in tune to your body with your mind, what did you say happens?
I said you're reconnecting with your body and the signals
Yeah.
that it's sending you. Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Because after I do a yoga session, which I tell everyone to go to Eternal Yoga in Ashland, it's a little far, but it's fantastic. It's
Oh,
wonderful. The
nice.
movement, the stretching, the breathing, and it's like, oh, I'm in tune to my body. I know what hurts and what feels good in my body, and it makes me aware. There's the
Hmm.
mind-body connection that yoga does a
Yes.
great job. Yeah.
Hmm.
Like Rachel said, then you know what your body's feeling in certain, interactions that you wouldn't otherwise know. I think if you were just going along, you got therapy, but maybe you didn't do any body work with it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. even just learning to check in with your body, like maybe dancing and yoga is not your thing. Like, I get it. That's fine, right? Just learning to check in and just become more aware of, am I feeling a weight on my shoulders? Am I feeling a tightness in my chest? Did my stomach just drop when this
Mm,
person asked something of me? Like,
mm, mm. Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah, that
what does that stomach drop tell me I'm feeling? What does this tenseness in my neck and shoulders tell me I'm experiencing emotionally?
mm-hmm.
And just regaining a connection to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because your body responses and your emotions will lead you to telling you what you need, because people at first don't know what they need,
Nope.
because no one's ever asked them, no one's ever cared, and no one's ever met that need.
Exactly.
They've just been in survival mode trying to maintain what feels safe, whether it's actually safe or not, whether it's actually good for them or not.
Well said. Well said, Rachel. Like they'll say yes to just keep it from blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta stay
Even though
safe.
it blows up down the road anyway. Like, yeah,
It will. Your body will catch up to you.
yeah.
I do believe that's what a lot of symptoms are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stomach malaise where you're constipated or you have diarrhea. I think that's your body saying something's off here. We're
Mm-hmm.
saying yes to too much, or we're saying no to too many good things and yes to too many bad things. I think our gut's telling us,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
That there's an imbalance. Yeah.
there's imbalance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope
Yeah.
that's super helpful. I think, yeah, I think we're definitely have covered our basis on how to reconnect with the body and how to set boundaries. There are types of therapy for fawning. I did find that in one of the books or one of the things I read, and we can always talk about that in a podcast for sure. You
Yeah.
know,
I think this is kind of what we've covered, is just kind of like, what people are doing on their own outside of therapy. Obviously, therapy is very helpful in doing the deeper inner work, getting to the
Mhm.
root issues, like we're going to do inner child work, we're going to do parts work to address the trauma. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have podcasts on that. If look up inner child or IFS parts work in our podcast library, whatever it's called. Like that.
We don't know. We did so many, we don't even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and also just quickly want to share that, like, this isn't something that has to happen in a vacuum on your own. Like, it's actually really helpful to heal in relationships, right? As long as those are healthy relationships. People experience so much progress when they do find a really healthy relationship. They'll come into therapy and be like, Rachel, oh my goodness, my partner and I got in a fight over the weekend. I was upset with them, and we've been working on, me being honest about how I feel. So I told them that what they did hurt my feelings. And you know what they did? They were just like, oh, that makes sense. And then they gave me a hug and they apologized. And they just look at me with such like shock and confusion. And I'm like, yeah, like that's what a healthy relationship looks like. They really respect you. Like, this is great.
Very great.
Yeah.
Good job, Rachel. You're an amazing counselor. She's requested all the time, guys. She's our star.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So we are so happy you joined us for this three-part series on fawning and CPTSD. And Rachel and I look forward to doing our next podcast, and we'll brainstorm. And if you ever have some ideas, feel free to email us or go to our website and give us some recommendations. We don't care.
Yes, please. We would love to hear about topics that you're interested in learning about. All
Yeah.
right. Until next time, everybody take care.
Bye.
Bye.